Well, someone just asked me a question, and this was dated about 15 hours ago. What made you change your mind in regards to buying a condo in the Philippines? I thought you said it's not necessarily profitable due to the devaluation of Philippine peso. The key word here is necessarily. Sometimes it might make sense, but many times it does not. But it's okay. And that's what I'm going to explain. Stay with me, we'll talk about it. A while back, I can't remember if it's 2, 3 years ago or so, I posted a video talking about, hey, people think that the real estate value is appreciating 12% a year or whatnot. But they're forgetting to take into account the devaluation of Philippine peso. Most of the time, you will get your money from the US dollars. That is affected by the exchange rate. As the values in the Philippines go up, the exchange rate goes up as well. So when you convert that investment into dollars, it sometimes it wouldn't make sense. Sometimes it wouldn't make sense. Now, some of you might say, gee, but I'm not going back to the US, so I'll never convert that. Well, that is the same thing as taking into account the purchasing power of the money that you have. For example, this is an example. You invested money on day one. 10 years later, you sold it and you made money, right? Because it went up. You have to take into account the inflation. The money you have 10 years ago is worth a lot more than the money you have 10 years later. So you have to factor that in and discount that. So even though, for example, your appreciation may be going up 12% a year, that's just an example. But if the inflation rate is going at the rate of 13% or 12%, you're not really making any money, right? So, but if the inflation rate is only about 3%, 6%, and your property is going up 12%, yeah, you're making money. Now that is one factor that I was talking about. The other thing too is this, and this is a frequent misnomer. They'll buy a property and call it an investment. It is not really an investment if you're staying in it. The way I see an investment is if I buy something and I rent it out. When I rent it out, it generates income. Then you can be so sophisticated, almost like an accountant, and try to compute the present value, the future value, discount rate, etc., to determine how much money you made, right? Okay. But when you're staying in a condominium, you don't look at it that way. You don't look at it that way because if you're going to stay in it, that means there is no rental income. It's not an investment. What it does is it reduces your cost of living compared to staying in an apartment or staying in a hotel. There is a cost. There is a cost involved. So you're not really making money. Now, if you are renting out, so there is money coming in, that's an investment. So that's how you look at it. Either it's a personal thing or it's an investment matter, which means you generate income. Well, when I bought the condominium, I was not concerned about how much money I was going to make. I was trying to compare it against how much money I would spend if I'm renting a condominium or if I'm renting a house. By the way, the same principle applies when you buy a house or when you buy a condominium. It is not an investment. There is a cost. If you put your money in it hoping that you will make money through investment, guess what? You have to live somewhere, right? So you also have to spend money. Now you compare the two. But to keep it simple, you just look at the condominium or the house you want to buy. Is it going to fit your personal lifestyle? how your activity is going to be. Then compare that cost to how much it would cost you if you're renting an apartment. In my case, it's actually costing me a little bit more. Why? I'm not renting it. When I'm not in my condominium, it's vacant. So it's non-productive asset. Okay? But I don't want to rent it because that is my personal space. And I don't want to share it with anyone or get somebody else to mess it up. Because of that, it's costing me money. So the question is, how much is it costing me? And what if I just rent an apartment, stay in a hotel, rent a condominium? What is the cost comparison between the two? Also, when you're renting, it's not a permanent place of yours. When you leave and then the following year you rent again, there is no guarantee you will be able to get the same place. And what do you do with the things that you have accumulated that you want to leave behind instead of lugging it with you in your luggage? Again, it depends on your personal preference. Now, if you're the type who will not buy anything, who will not own anything, will just live in a suitcase, well, it might be much better for you to just go ahead and stay in a hotel, motel, apartment or condominium, house. Yeah, could be cheaper. But see, that is not my lifestyle. I want to be able to travel less. I cannot carry all these things with me every time I go to the Philippines. So I want a place that I could leave behind. Then I can travel the island, go different places, come back, and it's much more convenient. That is the reason why I decided to buy a condominium. It's not because I changed my mind. Same principle will apply on single homes. Is it going to be an investment, meaning you rent, or is it going to be your personal place, which means it will cost you money? Definitely cost you money. Even if the property is appreciating, definitely it will cost you money if you compare it to the alternative of going somewhere else. Okay? So I just wanted to explain that, and hopefully I was able to clarify and answer the question from this subscriber that I have. I'll appreciate it if you share this with others, and please click like on this video, and I'll appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel unless you have already done so. Thank you so much. Make it a great day, and